our new subject, microprocessors. So let us first study that what is a microprocessor. The word microprocessor, it is a combination of two words, micro and processor. The word micro means small, or we can say tiny, and processor means something which process whatever it is given to us. So the word micro means small or tiny, and processor means to process something. So if we combine this, it means that microprocessor, it is a small device which is processing something. Now here, microprocessor, it is small in size because nowadays we have seen that the VLSI integration technologies has been developed that we can combine all the components of a device in a single chip. So the size of this processor, it is very small. It means that all the components, they are integrated on a single chip. So this processor, it is very small in size because all the components of the processor, they are placed on a single chip of silicon. Now processor, it means that it is processing something, and here it processes the data, and data, it is in the form of numbers. So we can say that microprocessor, it is a device which is very small in size and it is processing the data which is in the form of numbers. So it is a simplified or the basic definition of a microprocessor. Nowadays, microprocessor are very commonly used like in mobiles, in TVs, in all the components, all the electronic devices, microprocessors are very much used. And in radars, satellites also, its applications is increasing. So it is playing a very important role nowadays in today's technology. So these are the applications of microprocessor that can be seen in almost all types of electronic devices like printers, mobile phones, washing machine. All these devices, they use the microprocessor. Now advanced application of microprocessor, they includes radars, satellites. Okay. So these are the advanced applications of the microprocessor. So you have seen that because the size of the microprocessor, it is very small, so there is a reduction in the cost, and that is why the applications of the microprocessor is increasing. So because nowadays the technology is increasing day by day, so due to the rapid advancements in the technology and due to the reduction in the size, because the LSI technology, that is large scale integration of the devices, the new technology has been developed. So due to this new technology, the size of the devices of the microprocessor, it is decreasing day by day, and its applications, they are increasing. So all the microprocessor and its derivatives, they are increasing in their applications. So these were the applications of the microprocessor. Now if we say the technical definition, if we want to properly define that what is a microprocessor, then its definition is like, so this is the complete definition of the microprocessor. A microprocessor is a programmable, multi-purpose, clock-driven, register-based electronic device that reads binary instructions from a storage device called memory, accepts binary data as input, and process the data according to those instructions and provide the result as output. Now, in this definition, we have different words like programmable, multipurpose, clock-driven, register-based electronic device that reads binary instructions from a storage device called memory, accepts the binary data as input and process data according to those instructions, provide result as output. So we can say that if we want to draw a block diagram, then it is a microprocessor. It is the electronic device, and this device has an input and it has an output, and also it has a memory. Okay. Now what this definition says, that it is a programmable. It means that we have to write a program using some instructions or some language. We are going to write a program, and then it is a multi-purpose device. That means that it can be used in various applications. Clock driven means that a clock is provided for the functioning of this device, the microprocessor. Register based, there are registers in this microprocessor for the storage and the application or the working of the instructions. Electronic device that reads binary instructions. Now microprocessor, because it is a processor, and I have said that it is processing something, it is processing the data. So here the data, it is in the form of binary data. That means binary numbers 0 and 1 are used. So the instructions has to be written, because it is a programmable device, so we have to write the program using the instructions, and these instructions are the binary instructions. Now these instructions are written in the memory. So the microprocessor is going to read the instructions from the memory, accepts the binary data as input. So here the input, it is in the form of the binary data. It means 0 and 1, the binary numbers, and process the data according to those instructions and provide the result as output. Now this microprocessor, it will display the output maybe on the output devices like keyboard, printers, and maybe it will store the output or the intermediate result, so that result can be used in further programs or further applications. So it can store the output in the memory also, and it can display it on the output devices also. So it is the block diagram of a microprocessor. It is having an input and it is giving the result as the output. So now in this definition, I have underlined these words: programmable, multipurpose, clock driven, register based. So we are going to discuss these terms one by one. First, we will start with programmable. Programmable, the microprocessor, it is called a programmable device because it can perform different types of operations using certain functions. It can perform those operations like arithmetic and logical operations, mathematical calculations also it can perform. So that is why it is called programmable, because it is performing all the operations using certain functions or a program. A program is written, and according to that program, those operations are performed. So programmable means that microprocessor can perform different sets of operations on the data it receives, depending on the sequence of instructions supplied in the given program. So it is doing different kinds of operations. They can be mathematical, arithmetic, and logical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and or all these arithmetic and logical operations, they can be performed using the microprocessor, and these operations are performed on the data it receives. We are giving an input to the microprocessor. These input is the binary data, that is binary numbers 0 and 1. So all this data, it will perform all the operations depending on the sequence of the instructions which are given in the program. In the program, we are going to give a set of instructions to the microprocessor, and according to the instructions, according to the sequence of the instructions, it will perform the operations one by one on the given data. Now, by changing the program, the microprocessor manipulates the data. Manipulates means it is processing the data. So if the microprocessor, it is changing the program, and according to the program, it is manipulating or processing the data. That is why microprocessor, it is called a programmable device, because there are instructions in the program, and according to that program, the microprocessor performs different types of operations. Now the second term was register based. Now, as we have said that the microprocessor, it is having the programs, instructions, binary data, input, output. So it has some memory so that it can hold the data and it can hold the results and store whatever it wants to store. So the register based means that the microprocessor, it is having a set of registers or a set of memory, and this memory is used to store or hold the input or the intermediate results or the output of the different operations which the microprocessor is performing. So microprocessor has an array of registers for holding the data while it is being manipulated or it is being processed. Now we have the term multipurpose. Multipurpose means that microprocessor can be used in different types of applications. That is why it is called a multipurpose device. The fourth term was clock driven. So the microprocessor, it is derived or it starts its working or it comes into operations when a clock frequency is provided to it. So if we say that microprocessor, it is an, if we want to remember it, that microprocessor, it is an MPCR. It means M means multipurpose, P means programmable, C means clock driven, and R means register based. So if we generally, if anyone asks us that what is a microprocessor, we can define it in one line, that microprocessor, it is an electronic device, multi-purpose, programmable, clock driven and register based electronic device. And we can then define that what does these terms means. Now again, in definition of the microprocessor, we have the term instructions. So what does these instructions means? Now, each microprocessor, it is designed to execute a specific group of operations, because microprocessor, they are used in various types of application. So each microprocessor, it is designed to perform a specific kind of operation, or it can be used in a specific application only. Now, the group of operations which a microprocessor it is performing, this group of operation is called an instruction set. So the various types of operations which an microprocessor can perform, they are combined and an instruction set is formed for each type of microprocessor. Now this instruction set, it defines that what the microprocessor can do and what it cannot do. Because when the microprocessor it is being manufactured by the manufacturer, at the time of manufacturing only the instruction set for each microprocessor has been defined. That when the manufacturing of the microprocessor is going on, at that time the manufacturer it defines all the instructions, and all the instructions they are combined in the instruction set, and that instruction set is provided to the customer. Now the customer it can check that these through this instruction set that these are the operations which this microprocessor can perform. So we can say that the instruction set it defines that what the microprocessor can do and what it cannot do. Now, in the definitions of the microprocessor, we have written that we have studied why it is called programmable, multi-purpose, clock-driven, register-based. Binary instructions also we have studied. Now comes that what is the input of the microprocessor. The input of the microprocessor it is a binary data, and this binary data it is in the form of binary numbers 0 and 1. These binary numbers 0 and 1 they are also known as bits. Okay, so microprocessor it recognizes and processes these binary numbers or the group of bits because the input to the microprocessor it is the binary data, or we can say that microprocessor it understands only the binary numbers, that is the combination of 0 and 1. So we are going to give a group of bits as an input to the microprocessor. Bit is the basic unit of the numbers. It is a single binary digit. That means 0 or 1. Now, if these bits they form a group, then this group of bits is called word. And if 4 bits are there, then it will form one nibble. If there are 8 bits, then it will form one byte. Let's take an example so that you can understand. I have said that 0 and 1 they are called the bits. Like if 0 is given as an input, then it is 1 bit given as an input to the microprocessor. If now we have a combination of 4 bits, like we have a combination of 0 and 1, like 0, 1, 0, 1. These are 4 bits. Now these 4 bits, they combinedly form one nibble. Suppose just like 4 we have 8 bits, combination of 8 bits like 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. These are what? 4 and 4, 8 bits are there. Now these 8 bits combinedly they will form one byte. Okay. Now if we have 16 bits, then it will form one word. Okay. So if one word, or we can say that one byte is what? It is half word, and if we have 32 bits, then it will be called a long word. And 8 bits will be called half word. So these are the terms bits, byte and word, nibble. They are going to be defined that how much the input, or how in which way the type of input given to the microprocessor. Now we have studied here that the microprocessor, it deals with the binary data only. So the output of the microprocessor, it will also be the binary data. So we can say that this is the way in which we can define a microprocessor. If it is dealing with 8 bits, then it will be called a 8-bit microprocessor. If it is dealing with 16 bits, then we can say that it is a 16-bit microprocessor. So in this way also the microprocessor are defined that what type of input it is getting. So 8-bit microprocessor, there are 16-bit microprocessor also, 32-bit also. So all these microprocessor, 8-bit means that it is getting 8 bits as an input. 16-bit means it is getting 16 bits as an input. 32-bit microprocessor means it is getting 32 bits as an input. Now the first microprocessor was 4004. It was a 4-bit microprocessor developed in 1971. After that, 8080 microprocessor was developed. It was an 8-bit microprocessor. So you can see that this first bit, it is defining that what type of microprocessor it is, whether it is 4-bit or it is an 8-bit microprocessor. So this was an 8-bit microprocessor. After that 8085 was developed, and after that 8086, and nowadays many more have been developed in these. Now in our subject we are going to study two types of microprocessor in this, 8085 and 8086. So I hope that this topic is clear to you. You can define now that what is a microprocessor and how it is processing the data and it is giving the output as a result. So I hope this topic was clear to you. Thank you.